who shall be speaking on the topic Voice AI that CX teams can own without starting a war with IT. And for speaking about this, we have Mr. Karan Chhabra, the CEO of Acefone. He is an entrepreneur who has spent the last decade building the technology that powers millions of business conversations every day. As the CEO of Acefone, Karan Chhabra has led the company's evolution from a cloud communications provider into an enterprise AI platform, helping businesses unify voice, customer engagement, and AI on a single scalable infrastructure. Today, Acefone enables organizations to deploy AI that isn't just intelligent, but reliable, affordable, and built for real-world operations. So without any further delay, let's put our hands together and welcome Mr. Chhabra, the CEO of Acefone, and give him a round of applause.
All right. Am I audible properly? Right. Good morning, everyone. I'm Karan Chhabra. I'm the CEO and founder of Acefone. And today I'm going to be speaking with you guys about voice AI agents and how organizations are facing a tough time in adopting it. So before I go on to this topic, I would like to give you a quick introduction about me, my organization, and what we do. So Acefone is a part of the RTDS group, and under RTDS we have multiple brands: Ace Cloud Hosting and AceCloud.ai. And at RTDS, we are in the business of providing cloud computing solutions and cloud communication technology. As part of Acefone, we are in the business of enabling our customers to provide better customer experience to their customers through our portfolio of products, which include an omni-channel contact center solution, communication APIs, and recently, a few months back, we are also providing voice bot solutions as well. At Acefone today, we empower more than 300,000 contact center agents on our cloud platform and process more than 50 crore or 500 million calls a month for our customers. Apart from Acefone, our sister concerns Ace Cloud Hosting and AceCloud.ai are in the business of providing cloud computing solutions. We provide GPU as a service and also AI inferencing solutions. At Ace Cloud, today we empower more than 10,000 virtual machines and GPUs that we serve to our customers that act as a backbone for a lot of their IT operations. And Ace Cloud today is available in more than 7 regions. We're a bootstrap company based out of Gurgaon, and we built ourselves in the last 15 years, and we are a family of about 700 strong tech professionals that serve 15,000 customers globally, primarily in India, the US, and the UK. Alright, so over to our topic now of voice AI agents. The voice bot or voice AI industry is one of the most fastest growing industries today. And I'm sure most of the people in this room would have either spoken to a voice bot, or if they've not spoken to a voice bot, they would have seen a voice bot in demo or seen some form of it in our daily life, or there might be some company which might have come and pitched this solution to your organization and try to ask you to implement this to improve your customer experience or reduce your cost. In fact, experts suggest, and spoken to people at Gartner, customers, that what I found the best, you ask ChatGPT or Claude, what's going to happen to this industry, and it suggests that in the next 3 to 4 years, the interactions that businesses have with their customers, currently it's probably around 1, maybe 2% are happening over voice AI agents, is going to increase to almost 20 to 25% in the next 3 to 4 years. And you can see this happening in this industry as well. There are more than 1,000 plus voice bot companies which have emerged in the last 2 years. A lot of them are backed by venture capitalists with serious capital. So it's clear that this industry is trying to bring about the change and the technology is here to stay. However, since we are in the telecom space, cloud contact center space and the cloud space, we inevitably have interacted with a lot of voice bot and voice AI companies in the past. In fact, a lot more in the past 3 to 4 months. Because we've been selling them solutions. From Acefone, we've been selling them voice streaming services. Voice streaming is the solution required to connect telecom systems to AI systems. And at Ace Cloud, we've been selling them GPU solution, GPUs as a service, so that they can host their models on our platform. And what feedback that I've been getting while talking to founders and a lot of people in these organizations, and these are very intelligent people that I've been speaking to as well, and very hardworking, working on frontier technology, is that the adoption is facing a massive challenge. Today, more than if there are 100 pilots which are poised for a voice bot solution, barely 30% of those are passing the UAT stage. And the ones that are passing the UAT stage, about 10% of those are actually surviving production environments for more than 2 months. And the ones that are surviving are typically very basic use cases, like lead qualification, appointment booking, cart abandonment, debt collection. And begs me to, ask a question, and I'm sure a lot of the people in this room would also ask a question. Are we really making use of the best use of frontier technology? Is this really improving my customer's experience or having a significant impact on my cost effectiveness? Can this be done in a better manner? So the thing is that voice bots, to create a demo, or voice AI to create a demo, it's quite easy. In fact, if I were to sit in a room right here somewhere, spend 5 hours, I would be able to make a solution from scratch. Especially in this age of AI coding, that's ready for a demo to showcase to a customer and to wow a customer. And most voice bot demos feel amazing. But when you bring them to production, it's hard. It's hard to connect a lot of systems and hard to do it, and even more harder to do it when you're trying to do it at scale. So my agenda for this presentation is to showcase to you guys what it takes to run a successful voice AI solution. What are the various things that go in this stack, so that you may have implemented a solution today for your organization, or you may implement one tomorrow. You would have the knowledge and you would be able to ask the right questions. And if you have asked the right questions, invest in the right areas, the toughest adoption challenges become very easy. Alright, so next slide looks like it's got a lot of content, but bear with me. 5 minutes, I'm trying to share information on what it takes for a real voice bot, voice agent stack to run. So it starts at the very beginning, telephony. You have to figure out things like you need numbers in a particular region, you might need numbers in a particular country. You need to figure out what kind of channel sizing is required. You need to figure out TRAI regulations. Do I need a 160 number for my BFSI sector? Do I need a 140 number for the type of product that I'm planning to host? But this sector is pretty much clean, organized, structured, and people know how to manage it. And if you're running a contact center operation, you would probably have this figure. Then to run a voice bot, the first activity is that a telephony system needs to integrate with an AI system. And that's where the concept of voice streaming comes into play. That you need to send a stream of that conversation to a bot company or to a bot that's hosted at your environment. What people don't realize even at this step, unlike chat conversations, voice AI conversations are extremely latency sensitive. And as you will see the things that happen in a stack of a voice bot, you will realize that the minutest of 50 ms, or rather 1/20th of a second, is also very important. Then once voice stream goes from a telecom system to an AI system, another very important thing that happens, and this is quick note for you guys, whenever you are evaluating a voice AI system, is the stage of background noise reduction. The fact is, AI agents perform very well when they are in an isolated closed room. But in the real world, there's a lot of background noise. And apart from background noise, the next important aspect is primary speaker voice isolation. which makes a world of a difference. Which also needs to happen real time while the conversation is going through. The next bit is quite, I'm sure a lot of you would have heard these terms, speech-to-speech, voice bot, or the traditional tried and tested speech-to-text, which is basically converting the voice coming in from a customer into text, sending it to an LLM, which is the AI, which is giving the intelligent response, getting the text back, and sending it to a text-to-speech engine, which converts the text into a very conversational, good-looking voice, good, nice feeling voice. And one of the things that I get asked most as a question is, how amazing are your voices? ये आवाज तीखी नहीं लगती, अच्छी नहीं लगती. The weirdest questions I faced around voice. And what you realize while you go through this stat, that voice is probably just 10% of the overall bit that's required to make this successful. So what's really happening under the hood when it goes to an AI model, right? So you would have heard from voice AI companies that we're using Gemini as a solution, we're using Azure. Someone saying you're using 11 Labs, you're using Server, Smallish, Deepgram. These are all great companies and all of them have very good models for specific use cases. A Server is very good at regional languages, which no other player outside of India is able to crack so far. They're doing a very good job in that case. But a Deepgram is very good for an English language, which is very fast and has a very low word error rate. So one needs to have the flexibility of what model they want to choose for what particular use case. There might be use cases where you have a premium set of customers and you want to use the most expensive and bigger models for the quality of voice that you want to speak, have the voice bot talk to the customer. And more importantly, all of these AI models run on GPUs. And more often than not, most voice bot companies today are running them from different regions. So calls reaching a server in Bangalore, going to an AWS in Mumbai, sending a speech to a text transition to maybe a Hyderabad-based Azure, a text-to-speech to an 11 Labs backed in Google Cloud in Mumbai, and an LLM that might be self-hosted or might be using OpenAI. And what that does is that it works. Even when it's having these 7-8 hops, it works decently. It works very good in demos. The moment you try and scale this system out, public internet was never meant for low latency workloads, period. The moment there is a latency spike, a network blip, the system breaks. Moving on to the model layer, there is also the layer of orchestration. This is where most voice AI companies make their IP, their software, their addition into the value chain. Involves a lot of correct prompt engineering. These days there's a very cool concept of multi-agent squads. Very important if you want to successfully implement a complex flow. An example of a multi-agent bot is somewhat similar to an inbound sales team. There will be a bot which answers first, which qualifies you as a customer, whether you're interested in the business, maybe qualifies you on a brand criteria, qualifies you on the basis of what product you want. The moment that happens, it transfers you to a secondary AI bot, which is now seller of solution A, or maybe to bot number 3, which is the seller of solution of product line B, or to another bot which will talk to you about compliance about that business. And what we've realized is that if you implement multi-agent bots, the probability of your success is very high. And I like to look at this as an example of how workforce or organizations are structured. If you put all the information over one prompt, it doesn't work. An HR personnel would have knowledge about HR. An outbound sales representative generating leads would be great at that. A feed-on street or an enterprise sales folk would be very good in making relationships. Like that, we also need to start treating it AI. That it's not just one system that solves it. Then comes in the very important layer of business intelligence, which we've all heard as RAG. Putting data in a format or a system that AI can influence quickly from, and in a way that the AI understands well. Or a memory store, or a database, or an integration with a database, which people try and run 20 different APIs on a voice AI call, not realizing that it's very good for a chatbot solution, but on real-time calls, it doesn't work. It's hard. So we've also implemented solutions wherein we are getting a replica of a customer's database hosted on Ace Cloud while pulling that data in real time through APIs, which maintains very low latency. And of course, before I come down to observability, I want to talk about the last part, which is hand over to your human. See, this technology is great, but it will take time to mature. Till that happens, humans are going to be involved as part of the conversation. And more often than not, we have a different telephony provider, a different bot provider, which is working with 3 different vendors of AI models and infrastructure, and a different contact center provider. So it makes connecting all of the system super hard, that once a bot has had a conversation, how do you transfer the context of that conversation to a contact center system, even if it's a chat-based contact center system or a voice-based contact center system, so that humans can understand what's happened in that conversation with that voice bot and reply confidently and accurately. And last, the most important layer. Of course, there are many more layers to this stack. I've tried to simplify it in the ones that I think are the most important. And in my mind, one of the most ignored layers is observability. This is where the success to having a voice AI adoption done well lies. Voice AI agents are autonomous systems. For human agents, we would probably have a team leader over 10 people, which is monitoring what they are doing. We have a quality department, which used to audit their calls, which is now converted to AI, but still we had systems in place. We need even more detailed systems for voice AI agents to work. What's happening on each call? Is the latency high? Has there been a tool calling failure while retrieving information about a customer? Has there been hallucination in the model? Is the voice bot represented your brand in an appropriate manner? Is it stayed within the guardrails of what we are talking about? So real-time monitoring systems, alerting systems with LLMs as judges over the latency and other network parameters as well as the conversations is a mandate to iterate and to successfully run those. So we looked at this problem. We've been a part of this industry for quite some time because we were providing streaming and GPUs. We were interacting with whiteboard companies, and we realized that hey, there is an opportunity for us, for our skill sets of having telephony skill set and hard engineering skill sets of managing infrastructure to really try and solve this problem. And I want to showcase to you guys of how we are attacking this problem and trying to solve it from the foundation. So, what we believe at Acefone is that it's important to own the entire stack, yet be extremely flexible for the needs of customers and also incorporate what the ecosystem is providing. So telephony of course we own. We are a licensed virtual network operator, do about 50 crore calls a month. This is something that is our bread and butter and we are very strong at naturally. From AI models and infrastructure standpoint, this is where we are bringing in a difference, that we are partnering up with the latest providers in the voice AI space, from the likes of DeepGram, Server, Smallish, and many more being added, and having their models hosted on Ace Cloud infrastructure. And that infrastructure sits right next to our telephony infrastructure, sits right next to our orchestration infrastructure, and sits right next to our RAG infrastructure. So everything, if I had it my way, I would make sure that they're all in one rack in a data center, so we have practically no latency while conversations are happening. And along with that, we give a very detailed observability layer that we are continuously improving, to the extent that every information about a call flow that a software developer sees at our end is something that we are sharing to our end customers. Because our goal isn't to showcase that we are doing great, because we know this is a tough problem to solve. It's to showcase to you guys that hey, the system is falling in these various directions and we need to go and solve it. It could be a problem in the stack, it could be a problem in the prompt, it could be a problem in the network. And we are building systems that help support this autonomous nature of voice AI agents. And of course, all of this comes natively integrated with our contact center system, which already supports more than 300,000 agents with the context transfer, with the ability for the agent to even transfer the call back to AI agents. Again, context being transferred of human conversations back to bot and from bot to agent. So it's like humans and bots in our mind. A customer calls, we own the entire stack with the latest model providers also and open source models as well. Response can be a human or bot, it can be interchangeable. So we are not perfect systems. We are working hard and collaborating with a lot of customers to make this stack more and more efficient. Alright, thank you everyone. You've been a wonderful audience.
Let's hear it out for the gentleman once again.